was thinking for this Q&A session, we can make it kind of intimate. That's why this whole setting. And then grab a drink and dinner as well. So I just ordered sushi for dinner. Oh, my food is here. Hold on. Yeah, the bell is obnoxiously loud. So I had asked in my Instagram story. My Instagram is Tisha Shrestha. If you don't follow me there, please do. And also in my YouTube community, if anyone has any questions. Initially when I posted it, I really thought no one is going to ask me any questions. So I really appreciate you guys taking out the time and sending me questions. So what I've done is I've categorized questions based on like maybe personal life, YouTube, New York City, and then work related as well, because there are a lot of reoccurring questions. Ooh, today was a long day at work. This was so needed. Before we get started with the Q&A, if this is your first video here, hi, my name is Nitisha or Tisha. I am 33. I just moved to New York City, and in this channel, I make videos about how I'm navigating my life in my 30s, and sometimes I make videos about fashion and beauty as well. And if this is not your first video, thank you so much for sticking around and being part of the small family. So let's get started. So the first question is, where am I from? Are you from India? And why did you choose New York? So the last part, why did you choose New York? I'll address that separately when I talk about questions about New York City. So I grew up in Kathmandu, Nepal, and I lived there until I was 18, and then I moved here for my undergrad. So Nepal is in South Asia. It's right in between China and India. So in Nepal, I grew up in Kathmandu, which is the capital city. Is there more a personal meaning that drove you to move to Manhattan? So for a couple of years, I've been wanting to sell all my furniture and majority of my clothes. Basically, I was looking for a fresh start. I guess another chance to redefine myself and redefine what I want in life. Because back in my 20s, I felt like for some reason I was not trapped, but I literally thought and I believed that whatever I was going through, that was like my permanent situation. I wasn't really happy, and once I turned 30, it was just a flip. I was like, I need to do something. I need to do something to change my life, to change the course of my life and get out of this rut and get out of this negative self-talk. And you know, a lot of time you associate feelings or experiences with place or with your stuff, or sounds so weird, but even like with your furniture, because it's kind of like your external or physical environment. And for me, I just wanted to let go of all of that. I just wanted to let go of everything that was weighing me down and start fresh. And for me, moving to the city signified that. Moving to a different place in Jersey City would not signify the same thing, because for me, I've lived in downtown Jersey City for quite some time. Uprooting myself and moving to a different city where I don't know anyone goes so against what I used to think before. This is one of the biggest decisions I have taken that has boosted my confidence level and has instilled trust in myself and reminded myself that I'm capable to do more than what I can think I can do. Basically, not limit myself, and if I think big, I can make it happen one way or the other. It may not be the ideal beginning. So looking back on your childhood, what kind of signs you can pick that ultimately lead you to New York City? Since I grew up in Kathmandu, which is the capital city and one of the biggest city in Nepal, not as big as New York City, but equally chaotic. So I'm a city gal. So I wouldn't say there was any like a particular childhood experience that made me choose New York City. It's just my upbringing and the environment I grew up in. So I ordered 3 sushi rolls, one eel avocado, and then this one is crunchy salmon. The other one should have been tuna, but they ended up giving me salmon. Miso soup, and I got fried pork dumpling. Cheers. It's fresh. I'm happy. The other question is, how is Brooklyn? Do you like it? You know how you see in movies and shows like the romanticized version of the city? To a certain degree, it does match to that point of view as well. There are a lot of possibilities here. There are a lot of things to do, experience to gain, a lot of places to be and explore. It's diverse in terms of people, food, and at the same time, there's harsh realities as well, like talking about safety. So they're good and bad and like in between side of it. So far, even with the bad, I'm still very happy to exist and be here. The next question is, how much do you spend in a month? Right now, my expenses are really high because I just moved in and I'm buying a lot of furniture and stuff for the apartment since I sold all my furniture. And I don't think so it would truly reflect the real expenses that I would have once everything comes back to somewhat normal. So I think I'm gonna wait it out for a couple of months, but that's definitely something I'm planning to film eventually. Define your perfect New York City Saturday. For my perfect New York City Saturday, I have like maybe 2 versions or like 3 versions of it. One thing I think will be common across all the versions, I would love to wake up around like 7:30, 8 o'clock, do like a quick morning routine and then take Chape to Central Park. Before that, I'll get coffee or like juice and then just listen to good music and just walk around Central Park. I love doing that. I do try to do that almost every weekend still. Let's say that day, if I'm feeling very social, I'll go for like a proper traditional brunch or like dim sum with my sister or my friends, and then I would love to do like a night out, like a proper night out with dinner, drinks. And if I'm not feeling too social, after my walk around Central Park, I'll probably go to a small cafe by myself or with Chape and maybe edit for a bit and stroll around the city aimlessly, as in wherever I want to explore. And then for dinner, I think I'll cook. I have to be realistic. I don't think so in any ideal day I would be cooking. I'll definitely order in for sure. For advice for living alone, before I decided to move to the city, I didn't necessarily create it like a budget, but I did talk to my accountant. So my accountant does like my regular personal taxes. My accountant helped me to figure out like my taxes, because in the city you have to pay like the regular tax as well as the city tax. So that gave me an idea of what my take home would be, because initially I wasn't really sure if I'll be able to live in the city by myself. One thing I have to be very mindful is not self-isolating. You have to be very mindful on scheduling like brunch, dinner, like coffee dates with your friends. And another thing I want to do once I settle in is go and participate in different events. There is one event that I really want to do. It's on Sundays. It's all women event where I think around noon people meet up and they just go for a walk in Central Park. And beside that, I really want to take ceramic class. Another one is like where you drink wine and draw at the same time, or even like cooking class, dancing class. So basically, push myself, go to these events or classes where it gives an opportunity to make new friends. The other one is, if you could adjust the apartment hunting process for New York, what would it be? I wish I started looking for apartments earlier, just to get an idea, even though those apartments may not be applicable for my move-in date, because in order to find an apartment here, you need to look like maybe 2 weeks prior to your move-in date, which is so crazy. But I wish I started looking at Street Easy and Zillow's way up front, or even like schedule apartment viewings, and then also understanding what my true non-negotiables are. So I did have a list of things that I had as non-negotiable along with like nice to have items, and some of the non-negotiable items I did kind of shifted towards nice to have. I think for my apartment hunting, I did rush to apply to this apartment as soon as I found out that it's in the market. Truly, I did have some time to look for apartments instead of rushing in, but you live and you learn. Even with all these, I still really like my apartment a lot. So when I see the cockroaches, I'm like, why the hell did I pick this apartment, you know? But minus that, I still really like this apartment a lot. And I think this is the best I could have done with my price range and the space that I have. It's a true 1-bedroom. Another question is, what's one dish that you could only eat for the rest of life? So momos are Nepali and Tibetan dumplings. It's very different than Chinese dumpling. The meat has onions and then spices in it. And beside that, if I could pick one more dish, it would be dal, bhat, tarkari and masu, which is basically rice, which is bhat, dal is lentil, masu means meat, tarkari means vegetable. So The next one is describe yourself in 3 words and why. I think one would be creative. Growing up, I would never describe myself as a creative person, but ever since I've started to do YouTube and social media, I do consider myself to be creative now. Second is definitely persistent. If I set my mind on something, I won't give up very easily. I'll try my best to achieve it. And third is hardworking. I think I do have a good work ethic at the end. So what made me decide to start a YouTube channel? I started watching YouTube videos back in 2010, 2011 when there was no concept of vloggers or influencers, but I never had the courage to do so. And I remember my junior or beginning of my senior year, I created a blog called Shine Evangelina. I ended up deleting the blog when I started looking for my corporate job. I just didn't want HR or recruiters to find out about my blog at all. When I started my corporate job, I really needed a creative outlet, and YouTube has always been back in my mind saying like I should do something like this. I never got that feeling for like TikTok or even for Instagram, but YouTube has like a special spot in my heart, maybe because that's what I watched growing up in college, and that's how I learned about beauty, fashion, makeup, and also seeing South Asian representation in YouTube, which was lacking in mainstream media. And now it's become more than a creative outlet. Once I turned 30, I've noticed there aren't a lot of creators who are in their 30s, and also there aren't a lot of Nepali or even South Asian YouTubers. And now I'm just glad to take up that space and represent us. So how do you balance my full-time job, YouTube, and social life? To be honest, this is hard. I don't know how other creators do this, but I have a hard time balancing it. So right now, my primary focus has been my job since I moved to a new team, and then it's YouTube. My social life has taken a backseat right now, which I'm planning to change that in upcoming weeks. I think balancing varies from week to week, not just week, actually day to day as well. There might be days where I might have to prioritize my corporate work, like even after 5 or 6 p.m. I still have to work and have like a late night work session, which means I have to push out my YouTube editing to early morning and basically not go out at all because I don't really have any energy left. So right now, I wouldn't really say I'm balancing well. I'm still figuring it out, and I've been figuring it out for like years. So right now, beside my social life, whatever routine I used to have, I have not been following any of it. I haven't been able to get back to it. So that would be my focus in upcoming week. I'll try the pork gyoza, pork dumpling first. Let me try the miso soup too. Oh, that feels so good. So what do you do for a living? So I'll address that again in the work section. And how do you find the time to vlog? So for me, vlogging doesn't really feel like work. I enjoy taking you guys along my day or my weekend. There are times where I feel I'm not feeling social, and it's so weird. Even though I just talk to the camera, it's still me being social. So if my social battery is very, very, very low, then I'll skip vlogging that weekend. I might do something else. Honestly, I just choose to make time. If I don't, then life will just take over basically. So right now too, I'm filming this after work on Tuesday, and tomorrow I have to go to work in person, and then I'm planning to post this YouTube video by Friday. I probably have to stay up very late on Thursday, most likely like 1 a.m. and then wake up again at 5 a.m. to finish editing the video. I would love my YouTube be my first priority, but at the end, corporate job is my priority because that's what pays my bill and I need that to be here. And because of that, other things, like other aspects of my life which is very important, has kind of taken the back seat. So what's your workflow for content creation? So it varies based on the type of video. If I'm doing like a sit down video, so this sit down video is very different. This is me just answering your questions. I haven't really prepared any script or anything as such, But if I'm doing like a proper sit-down video, like the one I posted for New York City apartment hunting, that one I did like a whole script. It's not like I'm reading from my laptop, but I do write down the whole script so I don't forget. Whereas for this one, I'm just going by the flow. If it's a haul, then I would film either like a sit-down talking video, and then I take like separate fashion clips, or I'll just show the outfit when I'm talking as well. And in the past, even for the haul videos, I used to write down a script. I don't do that anymore. So after filming and everything is done, I start editing. I use Final Cut Pro for editing all my videos. First, let's say the rough video is like 5 hours. I do the rough cut first, and that's the longest part for editing. So the rough cut maybe will shrink the 5-hour video to 1 hour, and then I do another session of rough cut which reduces the video to like 20-minute-ish, and then I add music to it, and again I delete a bunch of clips while I'm doing it, and then I make that video to like 10 minutes after that, or 15 minutes. Once I'm done adding music, I start adding text or any sound effects, or any like zoom in or zoom out, or like a crop effect. So when I start adding music and all those things to like jazz up the video, that's when I actually enjoy editing a lot. The rough cut part is just very long and tedious. So the process is actually very long to edit a YouTube video. What do you think has been one of the biggest lessons you have learned in the past year? As we know from your videos, you have experienced some rough times. When I first saw this question, I actually cried. Because last year and the year before that, it was very tough for me. I was not in a good headspace mentally, and I did struggle a lot. One of the biggest lesson I'll say is having faith. Having faith that whatever situation I'm in, whatever I'm facing, it will pass. It's just temporary. It's not permanent. It's just a phase of life that I'm in. This is not rest of my life, even though it may seem that way. And do your best, and maybe doing your best is just showing up. And the other two things I do want to mention beside having faith is seeking help. Last year I did open up about my struggles with my parents as well, which I've never done that. I actually wasn't the one who opened up. So my sister, both of my sister, Nitisha and Maggie, they kind of did like an intervention basically. One of the nights I was bawling because my anxiety was off the charts. And they FaceTime my mom, and it really helped to open up with my parents as well, because they reminded me how strong I am. And I still remember my mom's words when she told me like I'm strong, and that mattered a lot. And the third one is, I know not everyone can do this, but if you are able to see a therapist, I highly recommend that as well. So I've been seeing her on a bi-weekly basis. So talking to an expert is very important, because a lot of times you don't know why things are the way it is and why you react a certain way, or why certain things triggers you in a certain way. So next one is from my sister. She asks, does Chape miss me and Jeff? So Jeff is Patricia's fiance. They got engaged, I think, 2.5 weeks ago. So yes, Patricia, I think Chape misses you and Jeff a lot. I really think Chape enjoys Jersey City over New York. So I think Chape is gonna take some time, just like his mama, to get used to this new life. The next one is why you cried last time. The last time I cried was a couple of days ago. That was just me feeling very overwhelmed. The next one is, do you feel alone sometimes? So yes, I do feel alone sometimes, and you do need to make sure that you occupy yourself with things that you enjoy and also brings you joy. Enjoy. Never thought about that. Basically focus on things that makes you feel good. Having Chape actually has helped me a lot. If it wasn't for Chape, I think there would be days where I don't even step outside, especially during work days. Another one is, can you do 50 facts about me? I really like the idea. I think for this one, I will park it for now and post it as another video, because I do need to think about 50 facts. That's a lot. Next one is thoughts about dating and marriage. So currently my dating life is existent. After my last relationship ended end of November 2021, right on my birthday weekend, I took a step back from dating. I did dabble a little bit last year, but I don't know. I don't think so. I am in a state where I'm emotionally available right now. Just want to focus settling in, YouTube, my full-time job, family and friends, and right now I don't think so I have time and space for anyone new from a romantic standpoint. Eventually I would love to meet someone in person, not really through dating apps, but whoever I meet in person who kind of like asks for my number, for some reason they are in like their early 20s or mid 20s, and through dating apps, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. And thoughts about marriage. So eventually I do want to get married, but not anytime soon. Later half of my 30s is when I will get married. Right now, well, I don't even have a partner to begin with, but beside that I have a bunch of things I want to focus on as well. Okay, so now next one. I got a lot of questions about it. So what do you do for work? What is your day job? What is your full-time job? How did you find a job in New York City? Question coming from a person from the European Union. And I asked her where she's from. She's from Hungary. I just get excited to find out where everyone is from. It's just crazy, like someone from Hungary, someone from Colombia, someone from, like, let's say Jersey City, they're watching my video. It's just crazy. So for my corporate job, I'm a business systems analyst in a healthcare firm in an IT department. I work in New Jersey. I do the opposite. I know a lot of people, they work in New York City and they live in New Jersey. I do the exact opposite. So work is a hybrid environment. That means we have to go to work once or twice a week. I've been working at the firm for almost, actually April of 2023. Next month will be my 10 years anniversary there. So initially when I started off as a consultant, and then I got converted to full-time in 2015 or 2016. The team I moved in January is a lateral move. It's data services, that's the department. Prior to that was also in IT, and the data services is also part of IT as well. So in my previous department, it used to be multifaceted technology domains. It used to vary based on the project. So we used to look from an end-to-end standpoint, and depending on the impact, it could be like 2 system impacts to maybe like 15 system impacts. So it really depends on the project scope. So that's for my previous role. And for my new team, which I just moved in January, it's very different than what I did in the past. It's technical, it's data related. Yeah, it's a new territory for me, and I'm still getting a hang of it. But luckily, I have met a couple of coworkers that have been extremely helpful with the whole transition process, so I'm very grateful for that. So in my previous department, I was somewhat well established, but here I'm starting from the bottom, kind of, even though it's a lateral move. Next question is, typical day of a business analyst. Again, it varies day by day. There are days when it's just meetings. It could be meetings with the business, or it could be meetings with the IT teams. And then you have a lot of documentations to do as well, and lead a lot of meetings as well. It mainly revolves around requirement elicitation, which is gathering requirements. If you guys want me to do like a separate video for work days in my life, do let me know. I can film that. I typically film like weekend vlogs, not necessarily workday vlogs. I just find weekend vlogs to be much more fun than my day-to-day workday life. But if you're interested in, I can definitely film as well. So another question is actually from my sister. So how's the commute from the new apartment? Door to door, it would take me around 45 to like 50 minutes to get to work. Since I have to drop off Chape to my sister's place, my commute comes down to maybe like an hour, 15 minutes because of that. A lot of times, since I'm running late, I have to drop off Chape to my sister's apartment instead of her coming to the station. If she comes to the station, I think my commute would still be around like 50 minutes. So after work, I go to my sister's place for dinner. She cooks dinner, or we end up ordering in. Like from commute wise, since it's just once a week, I don't mind it at all. And I think Chape enjoys being at Patricia's place as well, so I'm happy he gets to see her at least once a week since he grew up with both of us. I think this was the last one. Again, I want to say thank you so much for submitting all the questions. I was so shocked that people actually took time to send these questions. If there are any other questions that you would like me to address in a next Q&A video or maybe part of a vlog, do let me know. I'll keep a list of it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and support the channel. If you have an Instagram, my Instagram is Tisha Shrestha, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. It's 2:37 a.m. now. I still have to do, well, I have to remove my makeup first and do my skincare. So tomorrow, well, technically today, it will definitely be driven by coffee. But I'm so happy we got done with the video though. Bye guys.